Alright, in the last video I did the power battery and the Green Lantern ring. Since then I have made a second ring. I didn't do a video on that. And also made this mask I didn't do a video on. Initially I wasn't going to do too much to it, but I ended up doing a few things to it that I hadn't intended upon. And due to that, I'm going to actually film this, even though it is quite similar to a previous video I did, which was the Nightwing mask video. And if you have any curiosities or things that maybe I didn't cover in this video, because I'm going to speed through certain parts of it, uh, you can just refer to that video if you'd like. May fill in any questions that you have, or you can just post them in the comments. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start off with is the pattern. I made this by folding a piece of paper in half and just kind of drawing it out, measuring where the eyes go. And I'm going to take a picture of this and upload it to Facebook if you guys want to just download it and print it out for yourself. Next, I took the pattern and I traced it onto some 5mm EVA foam and I cut it out. And for the edges on the outside, I cut it at an angle, give it a beveled edge. And on the inside, I also cut it at an angle, but in reverse, so that I have space for my eyes. This will be the inside, this will be the outside. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat and shape this, because as it is, it looks like nothing. Okay, so to shape this, since I want a sharper nose point, I have this Batman mask here. And I made this out of EVA foam, and this face part itself is actually from a Kids Mattel plastic Batman mask. And it actually lines up with my face pretty good as far as features. Now, if you're larger adults, Rubies is the name of the company. They manufacture a Batman mask as well, similar to this, but larger. And I cut that off and used it for the front of this. This is my first attempt at the mask, and it didn't go very good. So I don't care if this gets damaged or messed up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a heat gun to heat up this foam. And once the foam is hot, I'm going to press it onto here, matching it up with the features so that it has a nice sharp nose and the dip here where the brow comes down and just all that good stuff. Okay, once you've heated your piece and it conforms to the mask, you're going to, depending on how you do this, I did this all at once. I heated the backside with the heat gun, pressed it down, and then applied some heat over top to help finish it off. And that made it conform and contour to this really, really well. And I really do like the shape. Shape's really cool. So that's a good basic shape. But to get some of the definition and stuff on here, what I'm going to use is a piece of 2mm EVA craft foam. I just got a hunk of it here that's at least as wide or a little bit wider than the face. I'm going to heat it up and press it in really, really good. And try to pull up as much of the detail from the brow and the nose and all that. And another thing is, if you don't want to try to heat the whole thing at once, you can always just do a piece of it at a time. And what I mean by that is, I start with the center. And I heat that from about here to here, and then I'll press it on and heat it and even it out. And then I'll work over to this side and this side, or vice versa. And that's a good way to do it when you're working with the heat gun to get this worked out. Okay, and here you can see the 2mm EVA foam that I heated and pressed over, and you really get that brow going on there. And that's some of the stuff I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut all this out freehanded. Alright, I started cutting out some of my pieces here freehand that I'm going to put on here as accents. One of them is this piece here for the nose, and I also have some brows I'm going to put on. I'm just going to start cutting this out and looking at it and making sure I want to put it on before I put it on. And of course you can do yours however you want, but this is a good way to get me going. And I'm going to glue all this on just using some super glue. Alright, I got all my accent pieces glued on here. I'll stick an X-Acto knife and cut a couple lines into here. And now I'm going to go ahead and seal this off with, I'm actually going to use some 40-30 polyurethane latex to seal this with, a quick coat of that before I paint it. Alright, this stuff here is what I'm talking about, 40-30 mix additive. It's a water-based polyurethane, acrylic polyurethane. I just put some of that in my airbrush, got it all turned on. I'm just going to go ahead and spray up my project here and get it good and sealed. Alright, now that that's dry, I've got some green in my airbrush. I'm going to go ahead and paint it up. So you'll notice here on the first coat, you can still see a lot of the original color through, whether the red or the black. I thin my paint out pretty good, so it usually takes 2-3 coats until I get it to look just how I want. Alright, here it is now that it's all painted. And next what I'm going to do is hit this with some clear coat lacquer. Although I'm not even sure I need to do it. I think the light catches it enough that I'm not even going to need to lacquer it. But that's always an option. Although I think this is shiny enough the way it is. I think I put enough polyurethane in with my green paint that it's going to have just enough of a shine that I don't even need to lacquer it, which means all I have to do next is glue an elastic band on this and I'm done. Alright, so that's pretty much it. And I'm going to go ahead and glue on some elastic with some super glue. And I'm going to try it on and take a couple pictures and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.